Hello, my dear ones. Well, I kind of snuck in here and wanted to get half hour to an hour video in here. I want to keep going down the line answering your questions for you. I know for some of you it probably gets redundant. Trying to bring out different information as I go along here, but basically, you keep things simple. It's that fight to keep things simple because the mind always wants to go, but there's no buts. It's simple stuff. You're reversing how you're creating your problems. It's that simple. You're reversing the chemistry, the physics. You're using science in nature to reverse how you created these problems. And you're learning how genetics plays a role in setting the stage for tissue functionability. And so those sort of things will help you, to get your well build there. Man, I had a rough night. Well, I was up meditating at 3 o'clock last night. Some of you must have been restless natives out there. Let me tell you. I don't know. I was looking at this. I think I brought this up before. Scientists blow the lid on cancer and sunscreen myths. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. This medical doctor, I call her Dr. Elizabeth, can't pronounce her last name. But she's a PhD in California, wrote a book on the biohazard tree, hazardous waste, which gets into the pollution, not only the cancer-causing chemicals, carcinogens in sunscreens, but what it's done to our waters and so forth. She's talking about how increases your risk for basically carcinoma skin type problems over a 30-year period. She emphasized that many sunscreens contain chemicals that are known carcinogens and endocrine disruptors. And I find that interesting, because when you're working on someone and their adrenal glands are stuck, you can't seem to get them up. You wonder, you don't think about some of the chemicals that we've ingested that have these chemicals in them. Endocrine gland disruptors, carcinogens, things like this. Simple things that we use, But you take a look at, say, your antiperspirants, for an example. I'm going to link them right up there with what we talked about yesterday, the microwaving your armpits. I mean, if this stuff doesn't stop, it's insanity. The FDA is they're all lost in their thinking. And so many people getting hurt from this. If that wasn't the case, it would be laughable. But the problem is the harm to others. And when you are messing with the lymphatic system, you're walking down a dangerous road, because this system isn't a I'll kill you quick system. If you want to mess with the blood, then that's a I'll kill you quick system. But the lymph system is a long, painful death. In all ways, from the fibromyalgias, the lupuses, the Lymes, and no one's focusing on that system. So you're treating things with antibiotics and things, and the real problem has always been the acid side of chemistry. So you're trying to treat the wrong things. That's why no one gets their remedy from these things. Years and years of steroids and antibiotics, messing with people's minds and emotions, and putting chemicals in them that's shutting down their endocrine glands, and it's just a mess out there. Well, how would you remedy all that? Well, that's why I've always said that detoxification is that golden key that unlocks your door to Wellville. Just like you, and understanding consciousness is your key to understanding God and what all this is about in the first place. If we make things too difficult and beyond our reach, you'll never get it. Nothing's too difficult, and nothing is beyond any of your reaches. You all can have anything you want, experience anything you want. You just have to realize it. So there's good stuff there. And it's talking about the vitamin D3, and I want to link that because when you start getting in the sun, your body starts producing D3, and it does that in conjunction with full spectrum lighting. So it would be hard to produce vitamin D outside of the sun. So this is why you need the sun to interact with that. You can supplement, but don't you think we need to get ourselves outdoors and out of the house and off of the computer games and start getting into at least a lesser soap opera, a lesser illusion. I mean, because we keep stacking illusions on top of each other till we don't even know which world is real. It's like that on the internet, that game that you enter, you take on whatever you want to take on. You want to be a carpenter, you enter, you go into this town or whatever it is, you're a carpenter, you start dating women. Matter of fact, a lady got a divorce from a man that was dating another woman on this website. And she said he's dating another person, but it was on the web, but he was doing everything on the web as you would having an affair with somebody. So it's just that sort of thing. So how many non-realities do you want to exist simultaneously? But I find it quite interesting stuff, because all the people down here, you know, throwing on the sunscreen and on these poor children, throwing it on thick. And it's just used down here in Florida quite heavily, and sad stuff, because they found that by blocking the sun, you have more cancers than allowing the sun through. There's a lot of studies that are out there, and I don't want to, I'm going to make a note here for Chris. That way he'll be able to title this. All right, so be careful. You know, be careful with chemicals. Be careful anything that suppresses or kills your cells or your fluids, because none of that makes any sense if you want to enter Wellville. You don't kill, you enhance and make strong. Hi, Dr. Morse. I'm wondering if you can help me once again. A friend of my father is having problems. He is 70 years old and is suffering from Parkinson's and prostate enlargement, which is called hypertrophy. Here's his story. He has a pretty good childhood, healthy, slept well as a kid. From the age 16 until today, he always has the feeling that he has not slept enough. He feels tired and in need of more rest, but can't fall asleep again. So you want to look at the endocrine glands. You know, we're talking about endocrine gland disruptors, but you really want to get that. Again, going toward Wellville. You've got the pineal gland, you've got the thyroid that can make you feel that way, you've got the adrenals that can make you feel that way. Low thyroids, low adrenal glands, you can wake up harder than you went to bed. You know, you add fungus in your body, you add all these things going on in there, low oxygenation of cells. Yeah, absolutely. You're going to feel tired all the time. Some people have the narciss where they fall asleep just sitting up. He feels tired and in need of more rest, but he can't fall asleep again. He thinks it might be because he has never trained much in his life or had a hard work. No. Okay, let's go on here. Okay, apart from the sleep apnea, okay, that's a little different now. Sleep apnea is a little different than having a hard time falling asleep. Sleep apnea is tied right in with congestion and this whole lymph and mucus buildup in the esophagus and the sinuses and all that. And you've got to clean that out to clear up sleep apnea and snoring. Now he has Parkinson's enlarged. Now can we kind of link part maybe of what we're talking about to Parkinson's? He's fatigued and can't get enough rest. That's in most cases, that's the adrenal glands. If you consider the adrenal glands like you get rechargeable batteries and you have to buy a rechargeable unit to recharge the battery in. Well, that's kind of, if you kind of gave you an analogy that the batteries are your myelin sheaths and your recharging unit is your adrenal glands. And that neurotransmitters is the modus operandi to accomplish the enhancement of the myelins. And when your blood pressure and when your adrenals are weak, of course, your neurotransmitters go down, then your myelins go down. And we see that all the time. And in the iris, you get these nerve rings. Well, then what else happens? Your lymph system, of course, starts backing up. Well, when it starts to back up in the cerebellum, that's where we get into Parkinson's and Lou Gehrig's and MS and all these type of vertigo problems or problems that deal with dropped muscles and neurological dropping of everything. You know, you can have all kinds of problems neurologically, because neurologically everything is controlled. So it's, and of course here you get the equilibrium, dizzy, vertigo, those sort of things, the swinging blood pressures, and then of course that locks the head from draining, sinus and everything. Of course the sinus is already backed up here, so then you can assume that you're going to start getting brain lesions from acid just sitting there chewing on the brain. You know, when you have acid just sitting there, just imagine having Coca-Cola and putting a piece of meat in it, because that's what it is. Your brain is the piece of meat sitting in Coca-Cola, which is your cellular wastes, which are at the same pH as Coke. So that's why in time you see what's called the amyloid plaque, where you get into Alzheimer's, dementia, or anything else. It's the same thing as cancers and everything. It's the same immune response against acids and proteins as mucus. And you see that every time. You see the amyloid plaque with the mucus and the proteins. And they're always, and amyloid plaque has always been by the medical community understood as protein/polysaccharides. Well, you're into your mucus, and that is a protection by your immune system, which is your lymph system again. Imagine one system being one, your sewer system, two, your protection, your immune system, three, your lipid carrier system, and who knows how many other things. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. He was talking about this morning, Shannon had got into some poison ivy here. Well, the remedy to poison ivy is jewelweed, some of it. And, of course, jewelweed was growing right there beside it. I mean, you know, you just have to realize there's an intelligence, and you're a part of that intelligence. Don't ever sell yourself short. You guys are very much a part of this awareness and intelligence. The only reason you're not aware of it is your focus outside of yourselves. Focusing on your dramas, focusing on your lives and the drama on this planet. Detached from that, as we talked about on the last video, and freedom shall be yours. Now, so you can tie in the hypertrophy of the prostate, the enlargement of the prostate, to what? Kidney failure, right? Kidney and adrenals. Well, wait a minute, here's Parkinson's from the same thing, right? See, so you see multiple problems when which system in your body goes down. The lymph system. When that lymph system goes down, now sewage is backing up. Well, another name for sewage in chemistry is acids, which in chemistry, of course, is called the corrosive side of chemistry. And you're going to feel that corrosion. All right, now enlarged prostate and to high blood pressure. So here's high blood pressure. Where are we getting that from? If it's not swinging, it's the kidneys and adrenal glands. If it's swinging, it's the cerebellum. The Parkinson's started with a tremor in the left hand for around 3 to 5 years ago, but has really started in the right hand as well. So, you're going to get up in here, right? You're going to get up in here and you're going to move this inflammation out, because when you see a symptom, 99% of the time, which side of chemistry is your body on? The acid side. And that is the inflammation side. This is the side that tears you apart, that makes things swell, that makes the body become edemic. Thank God there's a way to get this out of you. Thank God there's a way that you can pull this out after you stop filtering. This is just great. Here's another good one. Marcy's got another case here. Excellent work. Dialysis case. Lady starting to pee on dialysis. That's good. If you're on dialysis and you've stopped urination, dialysis will make you stop. If you can get yourself starting to pee during dialysis, you're going to be free of that. But you've got to get yourself start urinating again. All of you guys on dialysis that have lost your urinations, that's your goal. Get yourself self-urinating so I can get those kidneys rebuilt and everything's good. But if you can't urinate, then you have to have some way to clean the blood, even though your lymph system is steadily getting worse, because they don't do anything to clean the lymph system. They don't know how to even do that. And of course, there's no machines out there yet for that. His problem with the prostate is that he needs to go to the bathroom very often, and in most cases with a very short notice, but he almost can't reach the bathroom in time. Get him a little, a little pee-pee thing. Let him pee in that. You're going to have to give him a little bucket thing, like you get in the hospital. You can get him at medical supply houses, and you have to do that sort of thing on him. But we can get those kidneys fixed up and get that inflammation out of that prostate sooner than later. That'll all stop. And that'll be good right then. Then we can steady him up, getting some stability here. He's on a lot of meds here. I won't go through that. He's on high blood pressure meds. You realize when your blood pressure starts coming down, you guys, and you're on high blood pressure medications, what's the thing you have to do? Either you take responsibility or a medical doctor take responsibility of lowering your medications or throwing them in the trash. Blood pressure medications aren't like steroids. You can stop them just like that. And you would need to if you're getting low blood pressure, because continuing taking your blood pressure meds in a low blood pressure case is going to send you to the hospital with hypotension. You can't do that. So the whole idea to this whole program, this whole level of awareness of how nature deals with things, is to fix things. Not to take herbs or anything like that the rest of your life. Is to fix things. People lost the concept that things can be fixed. Because medical doctors don't fix things. They treat things. That's just their consciousness, their focus. And that's okay if you don't want to take the time and this level of work. But someday you're going to run across a point where it's either your death or you need to start thinking about, what does my body require? Proper nutrition. What really is making us sick? And when you're out there and people tell you this diet and that diet, oh really? Well, we are a victim of non-raw, of firing our foods, of killing our foods, of coagulating our chemistry in our foods, of processing our foods. And I don't know how in any way, shape, or form man ever thought he could surpass the effects of chemistry and physics on himself. He's not above any science. And that's what, sadly, we're finding out in the Homo sapien race here. When is it going to wake up? Okay, 10 years Parkinson's. He's on meds for Parkinson's. He has fungus in his body as well, I'm sure, loaded with fungus. He asked me to help him to look into Dr. Joel Wallach. Suggestions for Parkinson's. I have been looking at it for him. Had heard of Dr. Wallach myself, but never studied his methods. For Parkinson's, Dr. Wallach suggests his supplements, along with 6 to 10 eggs a day with a sugar-free salsa. I got a bit alarmed reading this, being your student for almost 2 years. I would have too. The problem with supplements, they're nothing. Supplements are made from herbs, basically, if you're into natural supplements. And we're using the whole herb. Why would you use a little chemistry out of an herb when you have the whole consciousness on you? I'm in a new car lot. I'm going to buy this. I'll buy that tire and wheel off of that car. Wait, don't you want the whole car? No, I just want the tire and wheel. Come on. I mean, this is why we have to get out of this mentality of treatment and supplementation and things like that. If you're going to supplement, then you want to supplement superfoods or something like that. You don't want to supplement isolates because it's a no-brainer, and you'll sit there and spin with Parkinson's. And getting a protein diet like eggs, 6 to 10 eggs a day. See, Dr. Wallach is again. I like the guy, but he's stuck on high proteins again, and that's not what you would do in an inflammation type issue, where you're a high acidosis like that. You're just throwing more acids into the mix and spawning more inflammation. No way, and no talk of raw or nothing like that. That's why all these docs, including Dr. Wallach, we all need to get on the same page. And we're the premier clinic, so I suggest you guys get on our side here, and we'll show you all how to pull your people into Wellville Station. I don't feel good about just translating Dr. Wallach's wisdom to him. His advices do not resonate with me, as you might understand. Got it. Could you give your meaning to his problems and your recommendations? Absolutely. Thank you so much for your help. Thank you, Sonny. Appreciate that, sweetheart. When you start going down, What's really happening in there? When you start neurologically going down, you're starting to get twitches and all these things. What's going down? Well, it depends what department's going down, but you can always depend upon one system that's causing all this problem for all these different symptoms, whether it's Parkinson's or it's Lou Gehrig's. You know, just a few things make a difference of your diagnosis. Okay, you have a neurological problem with probably brain lesions. The cerebellum's inflamed and breaking down. It depends what level you're at this, or whether you're in a chair or not in a chair, you're still walking, or wherever you are on this, it's all the same. It's just it keeps getting worse and worse and worse because now you're in a degenerative situation. You're not in a treatable acute or subacute type issue. You're in a degenerative type of issue. And degeneration is not treatable. Neither is chronic. Chronic and degenerative conditions are not treatable. Chronic would be fibromyalgia, lupus, Lyme's, things that are systemically acidic and been that way for years. That's chronic. Degenerative means your cells are breaking down on you. And that's when you start losing functions and everything else. And all chronic leads to degeneration. You can't treat degeneration and you can't treat chronicness. You've got to fix those things. You have to stop how you getting yourself to there because you have other phases before you get to these higher levels. And no one's helping people in these acute and subacute stages. It's easy to take a med, an aspirin, or something like that in these acute and subacute stages to fix the symptom. But again, fixing symptoms in these stages is generally the word suppression. We're suppressing the symptoms. But the cause in the body is continuing to go on because you never changed anything in your lifestyle that created this. And then you have a huge modality over here that don't worry about it. These are little birds flying around the air called diseases, and when they don't like you, they land on you. Doesn't help anything to be stupid about all this and to continue to be that way. You know, I think all humans, at whatever level, you have to man up when you make a mistake. And that includes medical and naturopathic and everything else. You man up when you make a mistake. If I make a mistake, I'll man up to it. Stacy, thank you for sharing your knowledge. You're welcome, sweetheart. Thanks for writing me, honey. I am wondering if you will sell your easy-to-read eye chart that shows the human body parts that I can buy. You just showed it to us YouTube viewers on one of your last videos, and I would like to be able to purchase that chart from us. Is that, was that an iridology chart? The one I have from New Zealand? Yeah, you can buy that from us. I think they're $20, $25. I mean, we charge you only for what we pay for them and the shipping because we thought, you know, by the time we pay for them and they're shipped from New Zealand, we're into them for about 25 smacks, I think. But, you know, it's a great, I love that. If this is the chart we're talking about here, where it's showing the bodies within the eyes. If it's something else, let me know, or call Shannon and ask her about that. But love that chart. We've got them here. I frame them. They're beautiful. I just love that. Absolutely, Stacy. That really helps people. This is what I'm talking about, taking the intellectual to the simplistic. And even though this is not really intellectual, but this is a lot more confusing for the average person to look at than this, because you got your body parts. And people can see things better when you're looking at them as body parts than just words. So yeah, absolutely love that stuff. I love that chart. And let me see if I can get this one. Let me see here. I sent you a YouTube question a while back, which you answered. Oh, good. Thank you for that. I don't know if you remember me, but I'm the 24-year-old underweight female born with brown eyes that are probably supposed to be blue. Yeah. You saw my eye pics. My sister has bright blue eyes. Ouch. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean that you do, too. I mean, you could, one could have mom's genes and one could have more dad's, that sort of thing. But, you know, if your donors are both blue eyes, I don't know, you know. But You said I had a lot of chronic lymph, fungus, a weak bladder, many inherent weaknesses, malabsorption, weak adrenals, and so on. I've been vegetarian for 1 year and vegan for 5 months. I've had my blood work done and just got back the results. I've had several deficiencies. I was hoping you could advise me on them. Did you send it to me? No, you didn't send me your blood work. First of all, my blood was too high in eosinophils. You know what? These neutrophils, basophils, all these immune cells like this, I wouldn't give too much a worry about them, because you can't do anything about them, and you'll see them going up and down depending upon detox and depending upon where your inflammation is and what's going on in the body. I wouldn't even give them a thought, especially the immune cells like that. I wouldn't, because there's nothing you can do about them. Just get your body healthy, get the bone marrow healthy, you know, that sort of thing. There's nothing you can do about them that I know of. I was researching it online. It could indicate, among other things, that my body is fighting a fungus or parasites. Yeah. So, I mean, that, you know, you Google after the cause of these things, and those numbers will come right back up on you, particularly these different types of immune cells. It is possible. Is this possible? Mm-hmm. How do I know if I have them? Well, first of all, we all have microbes in us, and we're all going to have some fungus in us, because there is a level of fermentation in the body that is there no matter what. I mean, there's a certain fermentation, and I suppose you could say at some levels there's a certain putrefaction going on with proteins, even with amino acids. So, I mean, these are more nano or subtle levels, perhaps, I don't know. But there's always going to be some degree of fungus in a person, particularly in any lifestyle on the human planet right now. But overgrowth, you know, where we're just saturated with them, you got to get that out of you. There's no question about that. And some people are just literally webbed up with fungus from head to toe. Bad stuff. And it's just that we thought starches were good for us. So we've been eating rices and grains for how many generations? And that's the first way that you can start developing fungus, is eating starches. Because, again, the metabolism of sugars is done through the adrenal glands, and the average person has adrenal gland weaknesses. So when you put those two together, you end up with generally some sugar metabolism issues, meaning you're going to have some fermentation before it's all said and done. Therefore, the fungal community will come in and sit down for a while. These people move in and out of you, so, you know, you can't put yourself in a bubble. You have to clean your terrain out. It's that simple. I am deficient in iron, B12, and zinc. Okay, so iron and zinc are adrenal gland issues. Go after your adrenal glands, because you don't want to supplement iron or zinc. You don't want to do that. B12 is also related to the adrenals and cobalt. So get into your adrenal glands and bring those up. I mean, you can supplement B12 if you want, but to tell you, this isn't a vitamin in and of itself. You know, some of these things you see, like vitamin C's and vitamin 12s, these aren't real vitamins. These are off cycles, where you said kind of like CoQ10s and stuff, and they also implanted in compounds and complexes that have to be broken down to get to them. So eating holistically is vital to all of this, and having good adrenal function is vital to having good minerals, and including the B12s, because indirectly or directly, the adrenal glands has 25 mineral corticosteroids, and we've discussed this many times, for your mineral utilization, except which one? Calcium. And where does that get its utilization from? Parathyroid glands. Okay? Parathormone. I was taking B12 supplement now, but I'm not taking anything for iron or zinc. Get your adrenals healthy, get your liver cleaned out, that sort of thing. I'm just increasing my intake of flax, chia, hemp seeds. I know that a B12 deficiency indicates a problem with the adrenal. You smart. You smart. I love you guys. You know, when you write me back, I know you're getting it. And when you get it, no one will ever lie to you again, and you'll be able to protect yourself, and you'll be able to come with a good awareness. It took me years to get through this stuff. So, and going through a lot of people, so you guys don't have to do that. And that's the beauty of everybody sharing. We're supposed to share with each other, because we love each other. And it's not about me, mine, my spot. This is about all of us working together. I am also too low in urea. No, You want that. That's your BUN. That's your BUN. When you're on this program, you want your BUN, and that's just right above what? Creatinine. And what is BUN and creatinine looking at? Kidneys. But BUN is looking at the proteins, your nitrogen, ureas that you're getting rid of. And so when you eat a moderate protein diet of meats and stuff, your ureas are going to be, your BUN's going to be around 15. If you come in here with a BUN of 10 to 15, I know you're not doing the program. So when you're doing the program, your BUN will be 3, 4, or 5. Like that better, and the lab will tag it. Good, you can tag that one for me. Thank you. I'll take that. And, oh, your BUN is low. No. And same with proteins. Good, thank you. Thank you, because remember, most lab stats are based on what? The average unhealthy person. And lab stats are changing just like they change blood pressures. So we got about that sort of thing. I'm also too low in urea. Okay, that's important. And another thing what's the other thing you want to be low in? And it's right down below BUN. Creatinine. You want the lab to tag that baby low. Oh, thank you. You mean my kidney proteins are low? I'm not breaking my kidneys down anymore? Thank you. See where I'm going? So, not everything in a lab is supposed to look slick and normal. Now, your basophils and neutrophils and escophils and all these sort of things like that, they always change. Or is this only because I have a lower protein diet? Yes, honey, you're getting it. You're getting it. I am also low in bicarbonate, so I'm too low in electrolytes. Or what does this mean? Well, if they do write bicarbonate, thank you, because most of them write CO2, which is carbon dioxide. And it isn't carbon dioxide, it's bicarbonate they're looking at. Your bicarbonate levels want to at least be 26, 27, 28. If you're running low in bicarbonate, suggestion is probably pancreatic. So you might want to do a little pancreatic for me and work on that, bring up your bicarbonate. If your bicarbonate or your CO2, either one, it's going to say either one. CO2, they mean bicarbonate, but they write CO2. I like writing what I mean, but you don't want that CO2 to be low. If it was actually CO2, oh, you would want that to be very low. But CO2 is acidic. Bicarbonate is alkaline. So they have a name that's on the other side of chemistry from where they're supposed to have a name that's on the other side of chemistry. I don't know. But that's not about electrolytes, that's bicarbonate. And that would also affect your alkalization and your hydration as well. Because remember, using a little baking soda or bicarbonate is a little trick we use to help bring some acceleration of alkalinity to the body. And that's what bicarbonate is supposed to do in the blood, is help that. But it's also how you neutralize what? Hydrochloric acid. I am also too high in C-reactive protein, all right? So immediately you know you're full of inflammation, that you're high acidosis. That's the first thing C-reactive proteins and homeocysteines will tell you. Right? You have too much acidosis in the body. Well, that's why we have this channel, and that's why we communicate with each other like this, because we know we're fighting acidosis. Too many Coca-Colas, but it's more than that, of course, but you know what I'm saying. Which indicates infection in my body. Infection, okay. Get a better word for infection would be acidosis. Because what's in the body? What's infectious? Proteins, acids. That's what's infectious. If you have to use the word infectious, it's a bad word because you tend to think infection, parasites. Toxemia. Let me see here. Detox. Could this be detox since I've transitioned to a vegan diet? No, that means your acidosis. That means your lymph system's up there. Going back to what I told you earlier when I looked at your eyes, your lymph system's a mess. That's showing you that. That's all that is. And you can't get caught up in it. You just detoxify yourself, then your C-reactive proteins, your homeocysteines, all these things come down. Transition to vegan diet, fruit for breakfast and lunch, cooked meal at night, or is something else going on? Nope. I haven't taken any medications, or I haven't had any infection-like symptoms that I can think of. They use these words. because just the word infection is really meaning toxemia. And toxemia is really the acid side of chemistry with parasites working on it for you. And of course, you also have byproducts in the canals. I mean, you have all that sort of parasitic action, but we're talking systemic. I am also deficient in the coenzyme Q10. Why would this be? Because that is a disruption of the Krebs cycle, and that means, again, going back to your adrenal glands. Okay? And I wouldn't worry about that one either. I am also deficient in vitamin A, which I find really strange. Since I eat many fruits, I wouldn't even worry about that one either. But maybe because it's a fat-soluble vitamin, maybe because I am underweight, that my body doesn't really absorb it. Well, that's a good take on that. That's why I love you guys are getting good, because you're using your awarenesses. Malabsorption, you have to figure on that. And this is something she brings up here, very important, is the tendency toward malabsorption utilization factors. It's a big deal there. So you have to take a look at that, and fix all these things. And then all this stuff is good. But some of these things you don't need to worry about right off. Which system does deal with lipids, though? Your lymph system. Uh-oh. And lastly, I am extremely deficient in omega-3. And my omega-6 is too high, especially deficient in omega-3 fish oils. So you shouldn't even that shouldn't even be a stat. That shouldn't even be a stat that they're looking at, is omega-3s. Those are fish oils, and I wouldn't even be looking at it. I don't think we produce omega-3s myself. I don't know, maybe. I don't think so. And my omega-6 is too high, especially in my, I wouldn't even worry about that at all. This is all your lymph system and your absorbability. Here's another thing. That could give you an idea that you do have malabsorption in your body. Now, malabsorption of the lymph system. Well, no one's ever heard of that. But malabsorption of the lymph system would yield you what? Poor fatty acid absorption. So your 3 fatty acids, main fatty acids, you'd be low in them. So how would you fix that? Well, you could supply that, but supplying it means you would have to digest it and absorb it. So that means that you might change the stats only because you have a free radical, but you want to fix this problem. And several things you allude here does bring malabsorption to the forefront. But that again, if I made these comments about your eye, about the lymphatic system, yeah. If your lymphatic system's so chronic that your blue eye looks brown, that's serious, guys. That's serious. And you got to fix all that. And you can't have perfect stats until you fix that. So these people will go in and medical, you get these stats and they say, oh, you're this and this and all. They don't have a friggin' clue. You got to go in the body and fix things if you want your stats to be perfect. But understanding your stats, and this was a good question letter. I like this because it'll help you guys to understand your stats in your blood works and not get too whacked out about that. Remember, your bun is always going to be, you want your bun to always be low as a raw foodist. You want your creatins to be low as a raw foodist. As anybody, you want your creatins to be low. And that sort of thing. If you start to see your minerals get a little low and your B12s and stuff, you know immediately you're dealing with adrenals. You also have to consider the 4 phases. Remember that? Sometimes I don't get into them much anymore, but you think about these 4 phases. If you don't digest your foods properly, so you're looking at stomach, you're looking at gallbladder, you're looking at pancreas, and first part of the small bowel. So if you're really backed up there lymphatically, the suppression of digestive enzymes is a given. Or if the pancreas is shut down because it's highly acidic, or the gallbladder, so you're obviously not going to digest your foods properly. And if you see undigested foods in your stools, obviously you're not breaking down your foods properly. Well, that's the first process of being healthy and well, is proper digestion, right? Well, then the second would be quite obvious, and that would be absorption. Well, when the lymph system backs up, remember the lymph system, of course, flows through the bowel wall because the bowel wall is made of cells. So blood and lymph flows through the bowel wall. So any problem with the bowel wall, like polyps and things like this, would be reflective of the lymph system. When you see pocketed areas like diverticulums and stuff like that, same type of problem. It's just that you've lost your connective tissue tonicity, and guess what? You're herniating your bowel wall. So now you have a pocket that can be filled full of, good starch and proteins and stuff like that, and build up of amyloid plaque. So these are good questions here, really good questions, because in looking at these things, with your immune cells like that, these always go up and down. I don't pay any attention to these cells because all you can do is go in the body and enhance. You can't make things different in the body like that with these immune cells. You can always work on thymus, but you're really working at the initial bigger boys, the B's and the T's. But everything else is quite well here, dear. I wouldn't get too big deal about it. I'd really head off Evelyne into my lymph system, my kidneys, adrenals, start fixing yourself, clean up the bowels. You'll get all these areas cleaned up, fix the malabsorption and all this, and all your stats will go back beautifully again, and your body will be good. All you can do. Marina, let's see, I'm an Italian 40-year-old, and I'm allergic to dust since I was 13. So remember, any allergies that you have wouldn't be a blood problem. Easy to clean the blood, but what problem would it be? A lymphatic problem again. That's your immune system. So you would want to clean that system, wouldn't you? Because it's telling you that certain chemistries will set you right off. That tells you that your body's backed up. And that's the lymph system again. That's the sewer system. But that's your immune system. So clean that up, and then you'll be well. So, and dust, anything like that, cat hairs, anything like that, nothing. Because your body's clean and able to handle things like that with a breeze. When you're so backed up, your body's already, red lights are already flashing. Can't take anymore. But we live in a very toxic world. I mean, if it's true these chemtrails are real, that's a very serious criminal act by somebody. That's the problem. There's so much criminality being done by governments and stuff that, geez, they have to watch their butt from people that find out the truth. And then how do they deal with it? It's just a mess. Last year I started with asthma crisis, okay? And it is very hard for me to manage that. I have a vegan and raw diet, 90%, good deal. But sometimes I eat something cooked. Yeah, we all do that. Most of us anyway. If you could give me some information and advice about how to treat this situation, as it is very difficult for me. My kindest regards. Ibiza. It's one of the Balearic Island. Wow. Cool stuff. Let me see. When you're talking about asthma, and you start waking up to that, what are you waking up to? You're waking up to a suppressed neurological event. A suppressed neurological event. That means that breathing is a neurological event, correct? Correct. You can't breathe without the autonomic nervous system making you breathe, right? That's it. That's how the sympathetic, parasympathetic. So if you suppress that system, you start having what's called COPD. And even though it's called chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, it's really meaning that you're starting to get your neurotransmitters are either low, you're starting to lose your neurological response to the breathing, to the lungs. It also can reflect in low neurotransmitter production, but generally it's dealing with the myelins. And you could have a lot of congestion involved with it too. Generally, if you just have congestion in the lungs, you're diagnosed with pneumonias. And pneumonias are just simple situations where the body's just trying to expectorate this mucus. Nobody really dies from pneumonia that I've ever seen. They die from the treatment of it all the time. And if you suppress pneumonia one year, you're going to have it again and again, and it's going to be worse and worse and worse because no one told you what you're doing to create all the mucus in the lungs and bronchi, and how the body has to get rid of this at some time. You can't keep locking it in, suppressing it in with inhalers, and nebulizers may be better, but still, you can't keep locking things into you, because one day the truth will knock on your door, and it won't be fun. And it won't be a friendly knock. You have a mass in the lungs, or you're getting into where you can't get that breath out, these sort of things. You can't get that deep breath. It's anxiety-ridden because you just can't seem to catch that deep breath. Neurological event, big time. So, adrenal glands, key factor here. So if you're having that problem, what other problem could you be having? Lymphatics, because that's your adrenals. So then you could have like this one where you have your minerals are off because you're not metabolizing your minerals properly. Low adrenal mineral steroids. So all these things. You have to fix all these things to be well. It's not difficult to fix them because the body fixes them without you having to do too much work, except being disciplined in what you put down the tubes. That's the big deal. But you've got to clean your lymph system, bring your adrenals up to get over these allergies. That's all it is. Your system is full of toxins. And some of the toxins are like the toxins, the chemistry within the things that you're allergic to. And it's getting real bad out there. You get these kids allergic to peanuts and things like this. You can fix all those things, by the way. But you have to detox what? The lymphatic system. You have to fix your immune/sewer system. Does this make sense, doesn't it? Since it's an immune problem? Absolutely. And it just means your cup runneth over. But the asthma, I'm going to go and I'm going to start using, I'm going to clean my lungs out from the mucus. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to use lungs too, probably. 3 lung tea is good to breaking up hardened mucus and stuff like that. I know it's a neurological event. I know my adrenals produce the neurotransmitters that's involved with this, so where am I going? I'm going to my adrenal glands. Well, if I'm going to my adrenal glands, where else am I going? I'm going to my kidneys. Because I have to consider, not only do I have mucus in my lungs, I have interstitial lymphatic constipation. I have my lymph system backed up in my lungs real bad because I have allergy problems. So I know my lymph system's backed up and nothing good comes to this. So I'm going to expect to have a little bronchitis, pneumonia type symptoms, not disease type symptoms. I'm going to have mucus discharge coming out of my lungs and hopefully out of my sinuses too. And this mucus could turn a little color. It can go from white to yellow to green and then to brown and then to black. So these are the stages you can see all this mucus coming out of you. When you get to the black stuff, you're in there, baby. You're into the deep, deep interstitial tissues of the lungs. And let me tell you, you get black stuff out of your lungs. Kiss the sky. You want to get this crap out of there. But at the same time, you want to enhance my neurological system because that's making me breathe or not breathe. Or not be able to take a deep breath. So I'm going after that. I'm going after my adrenal glands. I think I'll take brain and nerve number 2. I think, you know what, I'm going to do the adrenals for sure. I'm either doing a glandular or if my blood pressure is low and I can't budget with that, I'm going to go the licorice root and I'm going to throw that in with either the adrenal glandular or the adrenal herbal or the adrenal or the endocrine tonic. You know, either anything like that. I'm going to work and bring these adrenals up. But I also know that they can get full of mucus, they can get tumors and cysts on them, because I know that the kidneys down below them that they're sitting on has to filter. So I'm going to be working on my kidneys too. And you know what? I think I take a lymph formula too, because that would help move my lymph, which is why I'm working on the doorways of the lymph. See where I'm going with all that? And I need to clean my bowels out too because there's a symbiotic relationship to all my tissues in my body and my GI tract. So I'm going to get in there and clean that out too. And you're done. You're done. And your vehicle is moved into Wellville. Yeah, Drew. All right. Cara, you know what? I'm going to have to do just a couple more here. Firstly, I love you, love you, love you. Why? I love you, love you, love you back. You guys are so, I love you guys. You're just so good. You know, we're all good people. We're all part of the one. And we just need to love each other and help each other get well. One doesn't have to be over another one. I don't sit here trying to be over you guys. So none of you need to do that to others either. You have plenty of recognition in this world. You guys are learning things that no one else knows out there and how to heal anything and everything all over the place. You can't put a price on that. And you don't need to. It's just the way it is, that God needs to lift itself up at this level, and you're all involved in that. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. And we can back what we say, can't we? 100%. We can back everything we say through science and through thousands and thousands of clients that have done this. So it's not like we're sitting just spouting out ideas. Update. Been vegan and upping fruit for 6 months and just finally started your herbal cellular cleanse kit. Feeling huge changes since going all vegan. Yeah! Yeah! You know, it's so amazing, the changes and the power and the, oh, this is good. No more constipation. Yeah! Wow. Thank you for your videos. You truly are a godsend. Oh, thanks, man. Just in love with these videos and information. Hope to take your course. It's a lot of fun, I think. I'm close to being certified as a holistic nutritionist and hope to take it to the next level. Wellville. And help others too. You know, it's time that we all be happy and dance around the fire and have fun. Not sure if you ever got around to reading my prior email. Was hoping you would do a video answer for me. Please, including my name and info is fine with me. I'm living part-time New York and Florida. At the moment, I'm 34 years on the planet Earth. You think about that. You know, it's a speck of nothingness in eternity, but at the same time, it feels like forever on a rock like this. I was just 34 the other day, my friend. I was just 34 with you. I don't know what happened. P.S. Still struggling with weight and constant migraines and neck pain. Okay. You sound like you need to have a little adjustment on that neck and upper back here. So you might want to do that with a good chiropractor. I'll tell you this. Work on those neural lymphatic points down your back. If your migraines could be coming from the stomach, you have to see. It can be coming from sinus, stomach, or you're out of sort right here. So you want to get this draining anyway and opening this up so a good adjustment will hold there. Work on those neural lymphatic points, real important, right down the C-spine up here and up in the T-spine areas. Work all those. Go on down to those kidneys in the L's and work on those and get that opened up there, because that's real important with that. Use cold packs if you have to, because you want to open that, get away from these migraines. Get up higher there with the fruits, berries, and melons and see if you can inspire a deeper detox. At the same time, keep working on that GI tract. Clean those bowels out. You know, get that plaque out of there, use that GI broom and really clean that. That should really help to open these things up for you and get the neck and everything opened up. Also, nerves seem shot, adrenals. Yep. So, brain and nerve, 2 adrenal glands. The beauty is we have tools, great tools that don't hurt you, tools that love you. I love that. I mean, think about all the fun stuff, kind of like the remedy to poison ivy grows right beside it. That sort of thing in nature. The flowers, they're not just there to look pretty, they're there to smell pretty. All these things, sight and smell, are healing factors. So of those that are advanced, you wives or husbands that your mates are suffering bad, go out and fill your room full of flowers. You know what I mean? You always want to surround yourself with beauty, no matter what. If it's your time to leave this planet, you want to be surrounded with beauty anyway, don't you? So, whatever, if it's your time to leave the planet, get yourself prepared. Let everything go. Don't hold on to anything. You know, there's a way to leave this planet that'll take you higher in your experiences. And also, if you got plenty of time on the planet, get yourself right, and by the time it's your time to leave, you'll really go places. You know, some people just turn the corner and head right back. Also, nerves seem shot, poor sleep habits. Think about, this is probably where I would use, if you have a pineal gland, this suggests inflammation in the head area. So that means drain those sinuses and get all this, because again, stiff neck, so you're locked up here in the head too. So that's not good. Of course, then inflammation in the pineal gland and things. So you can get that pineal glandular, take 1 or 2, maybe an hour or 2 BS before sleep. And work on that, but get that head drained, because I'm telling you something, when this goes, nothing good comes of that in your experiences on this planet. You don't want the head to go. And you want to drain that out. And a lot of people snore, sleep apnea, sinus, and clean all that out and all those go away. Staying up late, that's me. I was meditating last night at 3 o'clock. Like I say, there was some rowdy one of you guys out there or something. waking up very hard, coma-like state, keeping up with 5-year-old daughter. Now, that'd be one of it. You want to get your adrenals up, sweetheart. Keep up with a 5-year-old, you want to get your adrenals up, for sure. That's a big deal here. And I push myself to do as much as possible. Well, don't. Push yourself in a relaxed way. When you work from consciousness and control your body. Relax while you work. Don't work following the mind. I got to do this and follow those thoughts. When you keep following your thoughts, then you get lost that way. And I'm almost done. And I push myself. So don't push yourself. Slow up a little bit. You got a 5-year-old? Yes, 5-year-olds make you do the thing. These photos are from 6 months ago. I don't have any photos, but missing link between brain and immune system. Old versus new map of human lymphatic system. Wow, that's pretty cool. Someone did that up nice to show the lymph system. Oh, now we have a much bigger lymph system in the brain. But wait, it's a little premature yet because they have not found the rest of it. Matter of fact, there's more lymph in this brain that's not drawn in here from the University of Virginia. So it's cool stuff. Everything is so cool, isn't it? But we're proving everywhere we go. And I'm just going to have to sneak back in here to get these. I have so many great questions here, guys, but I have to run right now. But I will be back. And hopefully this week I can come in another day or two and maybe spend 2 or 3 more hours and really take care of this last stack of orders for you, or questions for you, and then get you on the road to Wellville. Well, I love you guys. You're all done so good. Your questions are on point, but you're answering your own questions. I love that. It means you're really getting it. You really understand this. And when you do, you're done. You've got your keys. You got your tools to Wellville. You got your tools to God consciousness. You got your tools to have an incredible experience here. So have fun. Much of love from me and the staff here. And keep going. Keep going. If you have some hard times, find your balance if you can. We'll help you as much as we can. Work through these things. And all of us work together here and give appropriate advices and not get caught up in the me and the my's. We'll do well. Love you all. See you later.